got my back? Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got that swerve? I got that swerve.
Yo, do y'all remember when Jaden Ivey said this a while back?
The Pistons not gonna matter on Judgment Day.
Good. All I can say is that's sounding like facts because the Judgment Day is coming. And what's good, y'all? You watching another episode of Break the Huddle. I'm your humble host, Don Deuce. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, tune in wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Let's go. The Magic beat the Pistons today 94-88 in a Game 4 in which the Pistons desperately needed to tie the series. They needed that for themselves, to prove that to themselves. Jalen Duren needed this game out of anybody. Cade Cunningham needed to take over and show why he was an MVP candidate. And to be quite frank, none of the above happened. It is what it is, man, because now Orlando leads the series 3-1. If they pull this off as an 8th seed, that would be their first playoff win in like 16 years. Detroit, which I can't wrap my head around, Detroit Pistons had 15 more wins in the regular season than the Orlando Magic. But that's neither here or there because if you really take apart the Orlando Magic season, it's been filled with injuries, people in and out of the lineup. Their main guys probably haven't even played over 30 games together, probably less than that. So a lot of lack of continuity throughout the season. The puzzle pieces really took a while to fit because when you did see Desmond Bane and Paolo and Franz together, it was feeling like my turn. They didn't mesh. And now here we are, 3-1. Jamal Mosley looks like his seat is cooling down. Game 5 back in Detroit. Now, if you ask me, I'm sure Detroit will win next game just because their back is against the wall. They're at home. It's hard to put a team away like that. When you look at the flow of the game, man, Detroit came back late. They was really working it. They were down 96-79, 8:34 left in the fourth. And then, boom, they go on this 26-8 run. They take the lead. But then you look and you see Desmond Bane, clutch 3. Call it what you want. It's a big 2, big 3, whatever. Magic go on a 9-1 run, and they are back in control. Even at times when they were rattled, they just learned how to come together and you just seen it. This team quite literally has no business being an 8th seed. But I'm going to really give you the reason why Detroit lost this game today. Look at the turnover battle. Quite literally significant difference. The Pistons had 20 turnovers to the Magic's 12. That's a +8 in the turnover battle. Now, throughout the game, all I can see is live ball turnovers. I'm seeing the Magic easy transition buckets. And then, at critical moments, you seeing killer momentum swings, right? But that dunk on Duren, that was...
Turns the corner.
Talk to me now. We're going to get into K's numbers perfectly right here because that's going to explain a lot of the issues. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, but it just only took him 23 shots to get there. 3 for 11 from the three-point line. Like, not good, not great. But what was horrible was the 8 turnovers. The Magic defense applied a lot of pressure. They did not let Cade Cunningham get comfortable. He took a lot of tough shots tonight. Literally on most of his drives, they're swiping at the ball. They're trying to get it out of his hands. They're trying to disrupt his passing. They're trying to disrupt his vision. And quite frankly, Jamal Mosley and company, they perfectly executed the game plan, if you ask me. Whenever Franz was near a Cade Cunningham drive, he was swiping at the ball. Cookies. So at face value, it looks productive until you see the efficiency and you see his numbers. Is this the kind of performance you need from your star player? Probably not. Is this the kind of performance you're going to get from your star player that's pressing? Yes, because you have no other player on the Pistons that can relieve some of the pressure off of Cade Cunningham. So it's easy for the Magic's defense to load up on him and just simply make others beat you. And if you look at the supporting cast, that's not happening. That's not happening. But we're not going to let Cade Cunningham off the hook because this is the same guy they said was better than Brunson. This is the same guy that they said was third in MVP voting because of everything that he had to do, everything that he had to raise his team to be. Guess what? His team is falling short. His team is falling short, bro. That ass. I never seen Brunson act like this. So why I'm seeing it from Cade? Y'all told me he was the man. Y'all told me that. The Pistons clearly have some deficiencies. They clearly have issues. Because in playoff, when playoff basketball comes, there's just not enough. And then they had a lot more last year. There was more people able to score points on last year's roster. Now they have a roster where there's just not enough. There's not enough bucket getters. There's not enough guys that can go and get their own shot. There's not enough 3-point. Yeah, Duncan Robinson can only do too much. Tobias Harris can only do so much, right? And then we're not even gonna talk about the center, but we got to. Angel Reese got her old work and her new work battling in the playoffs for her heart, bro. That is crazy. And let me tell you, Wendell Carter Jr. is taking Jalen Duren's lunch money. Jalen Duren was an all-star for the Detroit Pistons, and he's coming up way short. The man's going from 20-10 to 9-8 in the playoffs. That is simply unacceptable. If I was Jalen Duren, I would lock myself in the gym this summer and figure out what's some go-to offensive moves. Figure it out. Figure out what you like. Figure out what you love, Brody. But do something. Do something. I promise you. I promise you I promise you you're gonna get better in the end. You are almost a liability, and you're leaving Cade out to dry because you can't get no bucks. I'm gonna show you this graphic on Cade Cunningham. This isn't to anybody's surprise if you've been watching this playoff series, because look at what Cade Cunningham was doing in the regular season and now in this playoff matchup versus the Magic. Clear uptick in points, clear uptick in rebounds, slightly down in assists, partly because the Orlando Magic is speeding him up. They're speeding his decision-making up, and quite frankly, that's leading to the next thing, to significantly higher turnovers. Game 4, he had 8 turnovers. Last game, he had 9 turnovers. The game before that, 7 turnovers. If your star point guard, if your point guard is the one responsible for creating the transition buckets for the other team, you're gonna have a problem and you're probably gonna lose. Man, Cade, bless your heart. His scoring went up, but the decision making just got worse. And when you look at the Magic, man, Desmond Bane, 22 points. Franz, 19, 4 steals. Paolo, 18, 8-4. But in a game in a win that required 94 points, that's a lot. Honestly, this is pretty much over. Because at this point, I can't see Paolo Banchero and company, with how well they've been playing, I can't see them squandering this opportunity to close out, pack the Pistons up. But going forward for Detroit, man, they're gonna have to take a look at a lot of things. You gotta figure out how to make Duren a factor. Cade Cunningham needs Jalen Duren to come for the ride. There's only one way out of this, and that's with Cade and Jalen Duren taking over and taking control of the game. But Jalen Duren, he's just not living up to the moment. And I don't know how to explain that. Maybe that's a JB Bickerstaff issue. His seat is probably getting hot right now as we speak because you lose in playoffs last year. To me, the team was better. This team outperformed and exceeded expectations, but it was clear as day. Without Cade Cunningham, the Detroit Pistons have to focus on their spacing issues because the Magic going to keep clogging the paint. They're going to keep shrinking the floor and helping Cade out on his drives to the paint, making themselves available, flashing those numbers, ready to pull the trigger, gang. Meanwhile, Paolo Banchero is, come on. To me, in year 4, he's answering the bell. He's had a somewhat streaky season where he goes in these stretches where he's really good, and then he goes into these pockets where he's pretty bad. And right now, he's in the positive pocket. He's in the good pocket. He's in the pocket where he's playing well. And the kind of play that's winning basketball and that's it's contagious. Everybody else just wants to win, get that. But as for next game, if Detroit could just cancel out some of these turnovers, I really do believe that they have a chance to win the next game, but I just don't see them winning this series. I think their time right here in the first round, it is coming to an end. But hey, you heard it here. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Watch out for the next game. Do you think that the Pistons can survive and come back in this series? Let me know in the comments. This is Break the Huddle. I'm out of here.
Who's got my back? Who's got my back? I got your back. Who's got my back? I got your back. Who got that swerve? I got that swerve.